What the major global event do you think will happen in the future that people will remember that could be the turning point?
I am very concerned about the health of the President of the United States.
Okay.
Looking at his chart, his health does not look good. We're in the midst of a second civil war. There's distrust of our political system, distrust of the president, distrust of family members, distrust of federal agencies. We're going to see more tsunamis this year. We're going to see hurricanes. We're going to see volcanoes going off. We're going to see, and I said, an earthquake in Alaska, which we've had, and an earthquake in Russia, which I think just happened.
Yeah, it happened, yeah.
And I said, I think Japan is at risk for a tsunami, and now in February. So I definitely see a lot of geographical upsets. And
what do you see the futures between the US and India?
I see tariffs being modified to be more normal. I see better relations between the countries. I see some sort of treaty between Russia and Ukraine. I don't know how much longer Putin's going to be with us.
So hello everyone, welcome to the Samir Show. Today we are diving deep into the mystical world of astrology and the spirituality. I'm here with Susan Reynolds, who has been studying the stars for the last 40 years, and we are going to explore what the universe has stored in 25. Talk about the past lives, karma, and how we can use the ancient wisdom in our modern lives. So grab a cup of tea, get a comfortable, and let's explore some of the life of our biggest question of 25. Susan, thank you for being us on the Shami Show. How are you?
I am good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and see what I can offer.
What's the big event in a 25 will change everything? Or in the other words, say that what the major global event do you think will happen in the future that people will remember that could be the turning point?
Well, this means getting into a little bit of politics. Regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, to the left, to the right, in the middle, someplace else, I am very concerned about the health of the President of the United States.
Okay.
Looking at his chart, his health does not look good. And I know there has been a lot of speculation in the news about his health and his health issues. In these next 4 months, until the end of the year, I think there may be a health event with President Trump that sidelines him. He may have a mini stroke. He may need to take it easy. His doctors may say you can't do this or that. And anytime something happens to the President of the United States, it happens to the world.
Right, agree.
Because this is such a powerful country. So I will say this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a situation where our vice president may need to step up and take over things because the president is incapacitated or unable to fulfill that. And of course, this would be a major, major shift in our country and in the world if that happens. So I would look at that as the major thing to be looking out for. The next 4 to 6 months, I think we're going to see this. I think we're going to see something happen.
So right now that viral of that Simpson cartoon, right? It's getting a viral right now. That it's just he's telling the same thing that maybe that
Really?
Trump, yeah. So Trump health could be the affected in this year. So you are agree with that, right?
I do. I don't watch The Simpsons. I've heard, little bits and pieces that they got it right or
Yeah.
they're looking the things astrologers and intuitives are saying. So apparently The Simpsons and I are on the same page,
Yeah.
This man, when I pick up his energy, he does not feel good. I don't see him being in pain, but some days you're not sick, you just wake up and you don't feel well, is the best way I know how to put this. When I meditate on him, I keep seeing him clutch his heart. So I'm wondering if there's, if he has congestive heart failure or does he have a stroke or something that would impact the heart. but I see the kidneys, I see the mind. I think various parts of his body are all being affected. And I
Okay.
think he is struggling with his energy and struggling to feel good and get things done.
So according to you, that which planets are stirring up the political trouble?
You mean which planets are impacting
Yeah.
things for the United
Yeah.
States or for the president or,
For both
I
United
will
States and
say,
the United States and the President Trump.
okay, I will say a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
I'm backing up a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, the planet Pluto, and astrologists still call Pluto a planet. We still call it a regular planet,
Okay.
or at least I still call it a regular planet.
Hmm.
It moved out of the sign of Capricorn and into the sign of Aquarius. Now,
Hmm.
Pluto moves very, very slowly.
Hmm.
So we could probably say it takes 15 to 20 years to go through one sign.
Okay.
And so Pluto will not leave the sign of Aquarius until 2043, I think.
Hmm.
And that means that in these next over a decade of energy, we are going to see a shift from the old way of doing things. Capricorn is very much about authority,
Hmm.
leadership, big business. It's the dictator model. Do what I say because I'm in charge.
Right.
Now we're moving into Aquarius energies.
Hmm.
And we are seeing more about no, we want freedom, we want independence, we want equality and fairness, because those are the key words with Aquarius. So this is going to play out over years, over the coming years. And so what we're seeing right now is the conflict
Hmm.
between the old authority way of being in charge and the new way of power to the people and equality and fairness. This is going to little by little play out. And we're seeing the rise all over the world of more authoritative oriented
Yeah.
political people because the old has to go away.
Hmm.
So we have to recognize it first. We have to see it first before we can make a decision to say, no, we don't want that. We want this new energy.
Hmm.
So that I think is sort of like an undercurrent of everything that's going on is this fairness, equality. We want something that's better than this. We don't want to just follow you.
Hmm.
So this is really taking hold. Now, this year in 2025,
Hmm.
this has been a major, major year
Hmm.
because this year we have had several planets leave the sign that they are in and just kind of put their big toe into a new energy.
Okay.
And so we have Saturn leaving the sign of Pisces, going into the sign of Aries.
Hmm.
We have Neptune leaving the sign of Pisces, going into the sign of Aries. We have Jupiter leaving the sign of Gemini, going into the sign of Cancer. We
Hmm.
have Uranus leaving the sign of Taurus, going into the sign of Gemini.
Hmm.
So this is a lot of change. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of people feel a little bewildered. Wait a minute, stop. Everything is going too fast.
Yeah.
That's because one after the other, we have all these planets moving and changing and doing things. So we can't quite get settled. We can't quite move fully into, wait, am I supposed to be doing this? Am I supposed to be doing that?
Hmm.
We're figuring out new things. People are looking at things in a new way. So 2025 is a challenging year because most humans don't like that much change coming
Yeah.
at us that
Yeah.
quickly. We want to think about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But 2026 is going to be easier. I think it's going to be easier because some of these planets settle into their new sign a little bit better, which means we settle into a new way of being. We're not as agitated. So I think 2025 has been a tough year for everybody. A lot of
Okay.
changes. People have started their own company, they've lost their job, they've left their marriage, they've had children, lots of big changes happening for people. But
Okay.
in 26, it feels a little calmer, like we can take a deep breath and we
Hmm.
start to move into the new decisions we've made. So a
So,
lot happening.
so when you say that 26 will be the easy, that is, you are talking about the country or the President Trump?
Oh, good question.
Hmm.
I think I'm talking about both. I
Okay.
didn't say it would be easy, I said it would be easier
Okay.
because we still have a lot of new energies coming in next year.
Okay.
So if you're expecting just a smooth ride pulled by swans or something, maybe not so much. We still have to look at things and make decisions. It's still going to be unsettled in
Okay.
our country.
Hmm.
This is more intuitive. But when I
Hmm.
pick up the energy of our vice president, I do think
Hmm.
sometime next year,
Hmm.
our vice president takes the oath of office becomes
Oh,
president. I
wow.
do think that. But the funny thing is, I don't think he stays president for a long time. I think he becomes president next year, but I don't think he's president until 2028.
Oh,
So
okay.
I do see a lot of upset next year, a lot of changes. I see uh, people who now support the right supporting the left. People who supported the left are maybe changing their minds as well.
Hmm.
I still see a lot of changes, but I see more progress being made. 2025 feels like a lot of things have been locked in
Hmm.
place. 26 feels like there's more movement.
Hmm.
So 2025 is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 26 may be 4 steps forward, 1 step back.
Okay.
We still have that forward and back movement, but it's a little bit more
Yeah.
progress made. Yeah.
Okay. So should we worry about the natural disaster this year? As already happened, right? In so many places.
So
What
many
about the
places.
US?
Now, every year
Hmm.
in January of each year, I do a predictions talk
Hmm.
and I talk about what to expect in the coming year.
Hmm.
And so I did this talk in January of 2025.
Okay.
And one of the things I mentioned is we're going to see more tsunamis this year. We're
Hmm.
going to see hurricanes. We're
Hmm.
going to see volcanoes going off. We're going to see, and I said an earthquake in Alaska, which we've had, and an
Hmm.
earthquake in Russia, which I think just happened.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah.
And I said, I think Japan is at risk for a tsunami. And um, the rest of this year feels wet.
Hmm.
So more flooding,
Hmm.
more water, more hurricanes, more tsunamis, more trouble in that area.
Hmm.
Even the earthquakes, which I still think we're at risk for, in the United States, it feels like the earthquake risk is sort of in the Midwest,
Hmm.
like around Yellowstone, Wyoming, that
Okay.
part of the area.
Hmm.
Um, in Italy, I think there's a risk of volcanoes. In Iceland, I think there's a risk of volcanoes. Um,
This year only? Any particular month? Yeah, predict.
between now and February is when I would say. So
Okay.
that's like what, 5 months, something like that.
Okay.
Um, so I definitely see a lot
Hmm.
of geographical upsets and changes. I do see communities helping each other,
Hmm.
so I definitely don't think it's all bad. I live in North Carolina, and
Hmm.
at the beginning of this year, we had Hurricane Helene
Hmm.
hit the mountains. Who in the mountains buys flood insurance?
Yeah.
You buy the beach, not up in the mountains, but boom, there it happened. So our state has spent a year sort of trying to recover from this disaster.
Hmm.
And what I have seen is so many people helping each other, offering homes, to rent if they weren't using them, helping with food, shelter, clothing, getting people through this.
Hmm.
And so even after a year, we're not completely over it yet, but I'm also very aware and very grateful
Hmm.
to see how people are coming together in the
Okay.
face of a natural disaster to say, we'll help our neighbors, we'll help each other.
Okay. So do you believe that in the future there will be a peace or it could be the war among the countries?
Will there be more of an international peace?
Yeah,
I do see that happening, but not next year.
not
It'll
next year.
happen many years down the road, but it will happen. Hang on a minute. What year is this? I think between 2035 and 2045 is when we really start to see international coming together
Hmm.
more.
Okay. So right now, as the Trump is taking very tough decisions regarding the India, right? Recently, that he has passed the bill regarding the H-1B. What do you see the futures between the US and India?
Short term,
Mhm.
I don't see it being very cooperative. I'll put
Yeah,
it like that.
exactly. Yeah.
I don't see Trump changing his mind. I see him being very stubborn. So short term, and when I say short term, I'm talking maybe 6 to 9 months
Okay.
of difficulty and tension and you know
Hmm.
struggle with cooperation.
Hmm.
But after that period, I see things improving dramatically.
All right.
I see tariffs being modified to be more normal. I
Hmm.
see better relations between the countries. So short term stress, long term much better, and things coming together again.
Hmm. Okay. So right now that everything happening in the world, right? The political issues, the natural disasters, the conflicts between the families, and so many things that happen right now. Do you believe think that God is giving you the sign that worship me or that you're gonna be out?
Um, no, not in that way. No.
Okay.
Um, because it doesn't matter where your religious leanings are. You may be a Christian conservative, and it's like God's mad at you for not being a Christian conservative.
Okay.
You may be Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, and it's the
Hmm.
same thing.
Hmm.
Vishnu, Brahma, they're mad at you for not doing this. Everybody thinks whoever they worship is mad at them and
Yeah.
punishing us. And no, I don't think some deity is trying to punish us.
Hmm.
But I do think we are moving into very tumultuous times in the earth.
Hmm.
And I think these are times when our comfortable life hits a brick wall
Hmm.
that we start to turn within and we
Hmm.
start to ask questions
Hmm.
and we start to look at things differently and from a different point of view.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, I've always been this and life has just gone along and now I just lost my business and I'm falling apart. And when those crises happen in our lives,
Hmm.
we turn within and
Okay.
we look for new answers.
Hmm.
And I think this is happening internationally, regardless of what religion you are, regardless of what country you live in. I think people are turning within
Hmm.
and they are asking deeper questions. What can I do during these times of great trouble?
Hmm.
How can I navigate these uncertain waters with greater strength of purpose?
Hmm.
What is my purpose? I think people are starting to ask, why am I here? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Was this the plan? Am I
Exactly.
living out the plan for my life?
Hmm.
So I think even though these are very difficult and challenging times,
Hmm.
I think people are starting to ask the right questions
Hmm.
and they are seeking new answers in different ways.
Okay. So, do you believe that we are entering into the spiritual age? Like some people talk about the age of Atlantis, right? Do you think that we are rediscovering the ancient wisdom that we lost?
Well, yes, but that didn't start this year. That started decades ago.
Okay.
For those who are not familiar with the legend of the lost continent of Atlantis,
Hmm.
it was considered to be this massive landmass
Hmm.
going from the Mediterranean to the Americas.
Hmm.
And over thousands of years, there were three major earthquakes or disruptions in this giant landmass,
Hmm.
breaking this continent up into smaller and smaller pieces. And so Atlantis was considered to be a continent of great technological advancement,
Hmm.
you know, far beyond what we have today, using solar power and very advanced medical techniques and many of the techniques that science is now discovering, so to
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
came from Atlantis. Lasers, using lasers and laser surgery, sonograms, these are considered to be techniques
Hmm.
and ways of healing that Atlantis had already perfected.
Hmm.
So, yes, I do think our world is becoming more sophisticated,
Hmm.
and much of the knowledge and wisdom of Atlantis
Hmm.
is coming forward in a way we can use in our day to day life. But I don't know if you're familiar with Edgar Cayce. He was a very famous psychic. He went into a sleep, he's called the sleeping prophet. He
Hmm.
went into a hypnotic state and he would foretell the future and
Okay.
heal people and all kinds of things. And he said Atlantis had their downfall because of their arrogance,
Hmm.
because of their hubris.
Hmm.
They sort of shot themselves in the foot, so to speak, you know. And to some degree, we see that happening in the world today
Hmm.
with nations having a lot of hubris and arrogance. No, we don't have to play by the rules. We don't have to think about you. So I think some of the energies, both positive and negative,
Hmm.
about Atlantis, we are seeing come forward in the world today, not just the United States, but all over the world.
Hmm. So in a 25, that what is the predictions that's even surprised you? Is there any something that you are coming in a 25 that most other astrologers are missing?
It's a good question. I don't know that I'm particularly advanced or any more advanced than other
Mhm.
astrologers or readers. I will say one of the things for the United States that has been shown to me that I don't see other people talking about
Mm.
is that right now in we're doing this interview in September of 2025.
Mm.
So right now in the United States today, we're in the midst of a second civil war.
Okay.
I've heard some politicians talk about we're leaning towards or moving to, we're in it. We are actively in a second civil war.
Mm.
And instead of this being the blue and the gray like it was during the first Civil War, we have the red states and the blue states.
Mm.
And instead of people firing at each other with rifles, we see political pundits firing words at each other
Yeah.
with different ideas. We see brother against brother and
Yeah.
father against son. And, heaven help you if you have different political ideologies at Thanksgiving and Christmas. We see people not talking to each other again. We are literally in the midst of a second civil war.
Mm.
But it also gives us the opportunity to heal that in ways we did not in the first Civil War. In the aftermath of the first Civil War in the United States, the North, as the victor, did not treat the South very well.
Yeah.
And we are still 100 years later dealing with some of the repercussions of those decisions. So now we have an opportunity
Mm.
to heal this and to do better in terms of how we are treating one another. So I don't care where your political ideology is. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal or something
Mm.
in the middle or whatever it is. It is a time to pray for our country.
Mm.
It is time to work on forgiveness for people that have hurt you or called you names for your
Mhm.
political beliefs. We have to do that within ourselves if we expect our country to heal.
Right.
So I've been talking about that a lot, about the Civil War and what it means for us and
Mm.
our responsibility as Americans
Mm.
to handle it better this time. So,
Okay.
and I don't hear a lot of other readers talking about that. I don't know why, because my guides keep drumming it into me. So apparently they're just fixated on this one subject because I don't think other people's guides are quite as fixated on this.
So, according to you, what could be the responsibility of the citizens of the United States?
To pray for healing for our country.
Mm-hmm.
Because next year I see some of the intensity of the hate, for want of a better word, lessening,
Mm.
but there's still going to be massive wounds to our country.
Mm.
There's distrust of our political system, distrust of the president,
Mm.
distrust of family members, distrust of federal agencies.
Mm.
We don't know what's going on. There isn't any transparency. Everybody believes all these crazy conspiracy theories. I was reading for a client recently, and I had to tell her, no, JFK is not alive.
Mm.
Princess Diana is not alive. JFK Jr. is not alive. Elvis is dead. Like, I had
Yeah.
to spell this out because all these conspiracy theories are going on and people don't know what to believe. So, one of the things that I pray for when I pray for our nation is truth.
Mm.
I pray that we will be guided by truth. And I pray that our nation will recognize truth from lies. And I pray that I will recognize truth from lies.
Mhm.
Because sometimes the only way we know is by what we feel within.
Yeah.
If
Agree.
that's something we resonate with, or no, that doesn't sound right to me. So that's a way of helping us to heal, helping us to forgive, and helping us to find the
Mm.
best guidance going forward.
Okay. So, why do the people say that 25 is a spiritual awakening year?
Because, oh, I was so hoping you wouldn't ask me about that.
Mm.
Because 2025, and we're getting into like some deep esoteric information here, it is the year of the hierarchy conclave, which
Okay.
happens every 25 years.
Mm.
And so this year in 2025,
Mm.
it is a year of the spiritual hierarchical conclave, which is a sort of meeting or conference of spiritual masters,
Mm.
of ascended masters, of esoteric wisdom teachers, all coming together. to look at Earth and to sort of see what is the future for Earth. We are not permitted to blow ourselves up. We're permitted free will. But if our free will takes us into blowing up the planet, that affects other planets and other dimensions in the universe, and we're not allowed to go that far. So these beings are looking at what do we need to do to get Earth and humans onto a better path. And sometimes that's putting us into a place of great challenge. So this is why the year 2025 is so important. It is a goal setting, if you will, for the next 25 years for planet Earth and every nation on this earth and everybody in it.
Okay. So how accurate are the famous psychic like Baba Vanga? What do you think about the predictions from the well-known scenes about the disaster in 25? Like in Baba Vanga is already predicted that could be a huge tsunami will come in the Japan and the Russia, and it happened.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people making a lot of predictions.
Yeah.
Edgar Casey made predictions, Gene Dixon made predictions, that all kinds of people have made predictions. I do think this is a year of incredible geographical change. I do think there are going to be more geographical challenges, disasters. But I do think we're going to come through this. And one of the things that I struggle a little bit with in predictions is that, I've never heard anybody predict an end to world hunger and peace on earth, which is what I'm waiting for. And I'm not even predicting that. Because when you get quiet and you go into a place to sort of lift the veil of heaven and see what's going on, it's very easy to pick up the disasters. It's very easy to pick up death and assassinations and plummeting values and earthquakes and what have you. That sort of jumps out at you. The peace on earth, the positive, that's more quiet.
Okay.
And so and I hold myself to a standard too. A lot of people who are doing predictions, it sounds very negative. It's kind of scary. So it's not that I think they're wrong. It's that I would wish that we all, and I'm working on doing this, balance it out with the possibilities. Because there are great possibilities for spiritual growth, advancement, coming together, just like there are possibilities for a lot of chaos and uncertainty and geographical upsets. But we don't have to let them take over. Years and years ago, decades ago, Edgar Casey was giving a reading for a group of people, I think about 10 people. And they were asking him about the future. And this was just before World War II. And so he said, if the people in this room would start to pray and make world peace their mantra, their focus, then the Second World War can be avoided. Otherwise, we will see the breakout of hostilities. And so the group immediately started saying, oh, where do you think the hostilities will break out? Who do you think will attack who? They started to act just like we would act. We start to focus on the negative and the difficult and the dramatic. They didn't say, let's start praying right now. So this is what we all have to understand, is we have more power than we think we have, because the power of prayer is huge. But if we don't see those results immediately, we tend to think it's ineffective, and it's not. So don't ever negate the power that you have, that we all have, to lift our family, our community, our nation, our world into a higher energy.
So do you have any hope regarding our planet's future? What do you see the good things about planet in the next few years?
I see more peace.
Okay.
Not in 25, 26.
Okay.
But 27, 28, 29, 30, I see the United States becoming more peaceful. I see the world lowering the temperature of hostilities.
Okay.
In the next year, I see some sort of treaty between Russia and Ukraine.
Okay.
I think those hostilities are going to stop. I see I don't know how much longer Putin's going to be with us.
Hmm.
His energy feels very weak. So I see major shifts in that country.
Hmm.
This war with Ukraine has cost them dearly. We don't see that a lot in the news, but it
Yeah.
has. So I see them focusing more on building within and
Hmm.
healing things for their citizens rather than starting another war. I see about 27, wait, 28, yeah, somewhere around 28. This is a very fuzzy energy. So this is why
Hmm.
I'm a little uncertain about it. Not 26 or 27. I think more by 28, I see more peace
Hmm.
in Palestine. And I see less death and destruction than what is there now.
Okay.
So I see things happening
Hmm.
that are all about bringing peace to the world, all about good negotiations, all about the temperature of things calming down.
Hmm.
But it's not going to be as fast as we humans want it.
Yeah.
And so we want to take the pill and we feel better. We don't want any lag time. And it's not going to work like that internationally.
Right.
So we're going to have to be more patient when we think nothing is happening. Things
Okay.
are happening,
Hmm.
but we're not always seeing the results of them.
Okay. So how can the astrology help with the political and the voting? Can like a stars guide us into making a better choice about the election and the political involvement?
The stars can sometimes confuse us,
Hmm.
but one thing you have to remember is that the planets, the stars, they don't have any power over us. We are not at their mercy.
Hmm.
Those planets have an influence, but it's just an influence.
Hmm.
We are the ones in charge of our life. We
Yeah,
have
exactly.
free
Yeah.
will.
Hmm.
So we may have difficulty in our chart that shows some problems, but it doesn't mean
Hmm.
we can't overcome them. When I was learning astrology, this is years ago, our teacher brought in the astrology chart. She said, "This is a famous person. It is a man,
Hmm.
and I want you to tell me what you see in the chart." So the class had to kind of look at the chart.
Hmm.
And this was a difficult chart. And one person said, "Is this a child molester?" I said, "Is this man in prison?" Like, there were some difficult things in this chart. And then the teacher at the end of the class, she said, "You want to know whose chart this is? It is a chart of Gandhi."
Hmm.
And yes, Gandhi was in prison a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
but not for, being a thief or a murderer or a bad person. He was in
Yeah.
prison a lot for
Freedom
seeking
things. Yeah.
change
Yeah.
and demanding change. So you can take a very difficult chart with very difficult aspects and you could turn it into something beautiful,
Hmm.
something where your life changes the world. So we're not at the mercy. We have free
Hmm.
will. It may take us a little longer if we have difficulty in our chart, but sometimes that difficulty is what propels us into what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Very famous ice skater said that he got into ice skating because he had breathing problems as a child. And when his parents took him to the ice rink, he could breathe better.
Yeah.
So he spent a lot of time at the ice rink, and that's how he became a famous ice skater. So, what we think of as the worst thing in our life or the
Hmm.
biggest obstacle
Hmm.
is often the big push to get us to learn and grow and achieve in
Hmm.
the ways our soul came in to do.
Agree. Okay, now let's talk about the past lives and the karma. Okay.
Okay.
So how can I find the clues about my past lives?
Well, as an astrologer, it's very easy. That is very
Okay.
easy because it shows up in your chart.
Hmm.
I practice Western astrology.
Hmm.
There's also Vedic astrology, which is more Eastern. So when I
Right.
speak
Hmm.
about what I see in the chart, honey, is I'm coming from that viewpoint.
Hmm.
In astrology, there is something called the nodes, the North Node and the South Node. And the South Node is like a horseshoe, like that U shaped. So
Hmm.
I think of it like a cup
Hmm.
holding our past karma.
Hmm.
And so we come into this life with our cup pretty full
Correct. Yeah,
of
agree.
past things.
Hmm.
People tend to think of karma as something bad. We're being punished.
Hmm.
Oh, it's my karma. I have this terrible mother in law, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Karma is nothing more than the sum total
Hmm.
of all of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, actions, experiences from other lifetimes. So think about the areas of your life that work.
Hmm.
Do you have friends? Do you have a happy marriage?
Mm.
Are you healthy? Do you like your job? Those are all examples of positive karma
Mm.
coming into your life. So it's not all boom, 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 getting beat on the head
Yeah.
by karma, but we also come in with a goal. Just like when we go to college, they ask us, what do you want to major in? And
Correct.
we pick something.
Mm.
And our lessons are geared around our choices.
Mm.
The same holds true in astrology and the soul coming into a lifetime. The soul says, what do I need to learn?
Mm.
What do I want to work on? What do I want to achieve in this lifetime?
Mm.
And you pick the experiences, and sometimes difficult experiences, that will help you learn, help you grow. It is not like one is good and one is bad.
Mm.
It is about bringing them into balance.
Mm.
Maybe in a past life, you grew up poor. And so coming into this lifetime, you're like, okay, I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to earn good money. I refuse to be poor in this lifetime. And you do, you work very hard. You start your business and you become very successful and you become a miser. You hang on to every penny
Mm.
because you're scared of being poor again. No, they can pay for it themselves. I'm keeping my money. You're not trying to hurt anybody.
Right.
You're not deliberately trying to cause pain or harm to people. You're making a mistake.
Mm.
You're making a wrong decision. And so, what people need to understand is karma often comes from a mistake. It doesn't come because they're bad people.
Mm.
So you leave that lifetime with a big balance and lots of zeros behind your bank balance, but you didn't give to others. You didn't help others,
Mm.
and so you leave that lifetime, and we go through our life review, which is part of my personal spiritual belief. So here is the world according to Susan. We look and we go, oh, I hurt so many people. I could have helped them.
Mm.
We realize our mistake. So we come back into a new lifetime. We say, this lifetime, I'm going to do it differently.
Mm.
This lifetime, I'm going to be open. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to share with people.
Mm.
And so we come in, and so we may have an opportunity to share, but we don't want to share. It feels hard for us. No, I want to hang on to this,
Mm.
but they really need help. Welcome to life. This is what we
Yeah.
do. This is where we run into our challenges. What we instinctively feel,
Mm.
especially early in our life, is usually from our past life. We're carrying it forward. That's what feels right to us, what we did before.
Mm.
And then we spend most of our adult years saying, no, that isn't going to get me where I want to go. I'm going to move into something else.
Mm.
So you want to be generous, but you don't want to give away your kids' college education or your retirement money. So you want to find that balance.
Right.
How do I take care of myself and my family? And how do I give to others?
Exactly.
That's what karma is. How do we understand our lessons and find the balance? Looking at a chart, you can see that very quickly. That just jumps out in a chart. You can see, this is what I came in to learn. This is why it's hard for me.
So according to you, that as you know more about the astrology and you already reading the past lives, what is your experience? I'm talking about personal yours experience. What have you seen in your past life for your personal things that you become an astrologer today?
One of the things I'm working on
Hmm.
are past life issues around my family. I have
Okay.
a wonderful family. I
Hmm.
love them. They love me. We get along, which not everybody can say about their family.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful.
Hmm.
Years ago, my mother was in her 90s and
Okay.
she was very healthy, lived by herself.
Hmm.
But my sister and I started to realize that she needs a little help.
Okay.
So I decided to move from the state that I was in to come here to North Carolina
Hmm.
so my sister and I could join together to take care of her, to help her.
Okay.
And my sister said, well, what about if out of whatever my mother has, we just pay you to be her full-time care person?
Mm.
Now, I would have been happy with that. My mother was a sweetheart. I loved her. I would have been happy to do that. But that's not what I came in to learn
Mm.
because I'd had a lot of lifetimes where I was all enmeshed in the family. It's all about the family all the time.
Right.
So I came in to learn about being an entrepreneur, being a business person, being a professional person. How do I move out into the world? How am I a leader?
Mm.
So I came in to learn different things.
Mm.
So I would have been slipping back into a pattern that was comfortable for me, but did not move me forward.
Mm.
And I knew that from my chart. So I told my sister no. I said, I think the better thing would be for me to do that part time.
Mm.
And the other half of the time, I'm going to work on building my astrology business.
Okay.
And this is what I did.
Mm.
And after my mother passed, I started moving into my astrology full time, giving it more time that I wasn't giving to my mother.
Mm.
So I logically knew and astrologically knew
Mm.
the path that I was supposed to take and didn't fall back into an old pattern that may have been easy for me.
Okay. So does the science support the reincarnation? Are there any real studies or the proof that we have lived before?
There are some. There's not a lot in the United States. There's some. There's more in India.
Mm.
Um, there have been studies. They concentrate on young children
Mm.
because usually in the first 3 to 6 years of their life, that veil is a little bit thinner.
Mm.
And so children will talk to you about, oh, I lived in this village or I worked at this job and I had a wife named Molly and she had blonde hair and I died in a fire. And they will find the records of this
Mm.
person lived and had a wife named Molly and they died in a fire. But I don't know, double blind beyond any shadow of any doubt. I don't know that that can be proved that way.
Okay.
I hope they do those studies. What I see happening is more people questioning this,
Mm.
more people entertaining the possibility.
Okay.
I think this is going to open up more on a personal, individual level because I think it explains something for people of, oh, this is why I always struggle with this,
Mm.
rather than needing the scientific validation. Because I think reincarnation speaks to your spirit and speaks to your heart more
Mm.
than it speaks to your mind.
So do you ever remember your past life, like through the
Oh, lots of
medication?
past lives. I remember lots of
Yeah,
past
through the
lives.
medication or hypnosis. Like, have you experienced the memories from the another lifetime that you have changed you?
Yes, I have had hypnosis and remembered past lifetimes.
Okay.
I have been through life between life regression sessions
Hmm.
and remembered past lifetimes. I have had lifetimes in dreams
Okay.
shown to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have spontaneously, for no reason at all, said something, done something, been someplace where past life reveals itself to me.
Hmm.
So, yeah, after 40 years, I've had lots of visions and connections with past lifetimes.
Okay.
So it happens when something like that happens to me now. Oh, okay, and I just kind of go about my business. But
Hmm.
years ago, I used to be all excited. I saw a past lifetime. I would just be thrilled. So what? Yeah.
So do you come back with any some people, like do we reincarnation with our soul family, learn lesson together? How do you recognize the soulmates from the past lives?
Oh, I hate that word soulmate. I just hate it. I just, for a while, I stopped using it. I just called it the S word. I just did not even want to talk about this because we, especially here in the United States, I don't know about other countries, but the United States, we have a very distorted view of what a soulmate is.
Okay.
you know, Women especially, and women, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be picking on you, but I hear from these women, oh, when am I going to meet my soulmate? And it's like, when is Prince Charming going to come? And I'm going to ride up in the distance and life will be perfect. And I'm like, honey, that's not going to happen. It's not what a soulmate does. A soulmate is somebody who we have had past life connection with
Hmm.
and takes on a role in our lifetime, in this lifetime, to help us or
Hmm.
bond with us or work something out with us or move us forward. Your soulmate can be a parent, it could be your mother or father, it
Yeah.
could be your child, it could be your best friend. A soulmate is not limited to your romantic partner.
Correct. Yeah.
And even if they are your romantic partner,
Hmm.
that person may be coming in. I don't know how to explain this. They may come in and volunteer to take on a very nasty role, a very low level energy role to help you learn something.
Correct.
Let's say you have a soulmate and they come in
Hmm.
You're trying to learn independence and freedom and standing up for yourself. So they come in, you two get married, and they turn out to be an abuser
Hmm.
and they're abusing you. And
Hmm.
you have to learn this is not okay. It is
Hmm.
not okay for me to for him to hit me in the face when he has a bad day.
Hmm.
So they may be a lowlife
Hmm.
taking on that role to help you learn. We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're learning what you need to learn. Some friends of mine back in the 70s, she gave birth to her first child, which was a boy, and he had cerebral palsy. Well, he still has cerebral palsy. And they were devastated. And this was the 70s, and there wasn't a lot of help or support. She had to stop working to take care of her child.
Hmm.
They only had one income. They were really struggling financially, struggling emotionally. They
Hmm.
had some very, very tough years there.
Hmm.
And at one point, she went to a reader, very well known, very famous, and she was asking, why did this happen?
Hmm.
Why I love my son loves me,
Hmm.
but why are we dealing with this situation? And the reader said, in other lifetimes,
Hmm.
you made fun of people with disabilities. You mocked them, you demeaned them, and you made fun of them.
Hmm.
In this lifetime, you wanted to work on healing that. And so your son volunteered to come in
Hmm.
with this disability to give both of you an
Hmm.
opportunity to grow and to learn.
So do you believe that suppose after the that in this birth, suppose any person's got the disabilities, that is because of that past life that he had done the bad karma, or that he
No,
said to something to someone
no.
else?
One of the things that her son with cerebral palsy was told is that, yes, he chose to come in to help the parents learn, but he also came in
Hmm.
because this was an advanced soul who needed a bigger challenge
Hmm.
to sort of slow him down instead of just gliding through life.
Hmm.
So he chose to take on this disability to
Hmm.
help him learn other lessons. Now, I would say the vast majority of the time that somebody comes in with a disability, they chose that. And they
They chose
usually
that.
choose that to help them grow faster.
Hmm.
Let's say you were kind of a low life in another lifetime. You were a petty criminal and you were a pickpocket and
Hmm.
not a bad person, but
Hmm.
not on the right side of the law either,
Hmm. Hmm.
And you realize, oh, I mucked up. I did wrong action. I want to overcome this. I want to overcome this quickly.
Hmm.
How do I do that?
Hmm.
And as I know, I'm going to come in, with some arthritis in my hands.
Hmm.
So my hands are weak
Hmm.
and I can't do things. So I can't pick a pocket anymore.
Hmm.
So they may come in with some kind of disability that they're choosing
Hmm.
to help them grow and learn.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's true for everybody. I'm
Hmm.
not. You may
Hmm.
have people who are,
Yeah.
have an accident. Literally, there are spiritual
Hmm.
accidents, not a lot, but they happen.
Hmm.
But the vast majority of the people who are struggling with something chose that for a reason. They
Hmm.
chose to come in like that, to learn something, not to punish.
Okay. So how does the karma really works? How does the karma from the past life affect our relationship and the experience right now? Can we heal like a bad karma?
Absolutely. Otherwise, what's the point of being born?
Hmm.
We come in because the earth is three dimension. It's 3D. It's physical. And when we're in spirit, there's no mass for us to push against.
Hmm.
I say coming into the earth is like going to the gym and you're lifting weights. You are building mass, you're building muscle because you're pushing against something.
Hmm.
When we come into the earth, it's like we hit this 3D dense heavy
Yeah.
planet and we have to deal, we're pushing against something. So we are learning and we are growing.
Hmm.
So we have an aha moment. We get to a place where, like, oh, this is the way I should deal with that. I'm not going to do that way anymore. I'm going to do this a different way.
Hmm.
Sometimes we're kind of old by the time we get there, but sometimes we get there. It's just like a moment of insight and clarity,
Hmm.
and we change the way we're doing things. Sometimes we learn through difficulty. If you see patterns that keep repeating in your life,
Hmm.
those are issues, karmic issues you haven't healed yet. If you keep getting the worst boss, or you keep getting fired from jobs, or other people keep theirs, or how come I keep dating the wrong person,
mm,
or how come everything happens to me? We all ask that. How come everything happens to me? But if you see a pattern in your life, I can't get ahead, or there's always an emergency and I can't save money, that's a karmic issue
okay.
because our karma shows up in repeating patterns.
Mm,
When we have worked with that issue,
mm.
the pattern goes away.
So am I, as you're talking about the pattern, that am I stuck repeating the same pattern? Like what sign in astrology shows that lesson we brought from the past life?
Oh, every sign, every one of the 12 signs
Hmm.
has their own challenges and gifts.
Hmm.
There's no sign that's all good and nothing bad about it. Every sign has its high side and every sign has its shadow side,
Hmm.
you know. So let's take the sign of Leo.
Hmm.
Leo is a bright, bubbly sign,
Hmm.
joyful, charismatic, very creative.
Hmm.
Think of J-Lo. She's a singer, a dancer, a movie actress, and the whole 9 yards.
Hmm.
She's a Leo. Leo is about children and grandchildren and very creative and life of the party and. But think of the shadow side of Leo. Leo can be a bit of a diva.
Hmm.
Leo rules the ego. Leo is like, look at me, you
Yeah.
know. So I would not say JLo is very shy and retiring. No, does not mean I don't like her or respect her, but she has a big personality.
Hmm.
Leo has a big personality.
Hmm.
Every sign has their high side and their low side, their
Hmm.
shadow side. So we have to make sure that we bring in the high side of that energy.
Okay.
So what's your sign?
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay, the high side of Capricorn, very hardworking.
Hmm.
They're very achievement oriented. They're very goal oriented. And man, nobody outworks a Capricorn.
Hmm.
They make wonderful leaders. They start their own businesses. They are CEOs. They are pillars of the community. They start community outreach. You see a Capricorn.
Hmm.
So that's a very positive quality. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to achieve something. Nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
But Capricorn, let's say you're looking at the shadow side of Capricorn. Capricorn rules the aging process.
Hmm.
It rules seniors and old age. So most Capricorns have a much more difficult early life than they do
Right.
senior life.
Hmm.
And so, what if they have a difficult childhood and they grow up bitter
Hmm.
and angry, resentful? They may never achieve all the possibilities of what they can do.
Hmm.
They can be like, no, why bother? Life sucks. They can be ruthless. They can
Hmm.
be the ruthless kind of ambition. I'll step over you and step over everybody else to get ahead. That would be the shadow side.
Hmm.
We all have. So let's say Capricorn has an opportunity. I know this company is looking for somebody with my skill set, and my best friend has the same skill set.
Hmm.
Do I tell them?
Hmm.
Do I not tell them?
Hmm.
Sometimes we have soul lessons and karmic lessons in very subtle ways.
Yeah.
They don't punch us in the face. It's like, well, nobody will know if I don't tell him,
Hmm.
but will I feel good about myself? Karmic lessons can be very subtle
Yeah.
and they can hit us right in our heart, right where it knows
Yeah.
our most vulnerable place is. So, a Capricorn has a wonderful ability to achieve in this lifetime because they will work hard. And the vast majority of Capricorns will do the right thing to create something and move forward in life. But every once in a while, for all 12 of the signs, our shadow side sneaks up
Yeah. Exactly.
and ping,
The person has to be accept with the good sign and the bad sign. Obviously, they have to carry both.
Yes, yes. Like the devil and the angel on each shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah. Many times that angel saying something, that many times that they will say something, that it's your call. What are you taking the decision about that?
That's it. It's your call. How are you going to handle this?
Right.
And sometimes nobody else will know. It's just between us and us.
Exactly. So is the karma about the punishment or the growth? What do the people get wrong about the karma of the idea being punished for the past mistakes?
And that's the mistake. They think karma is punishment.
Hmm.
And just like I said, karma is not punishment. It is about healing.
Hmm.
It is about balancing. And it is about moving forward.
Hmm.
When we are dealing with our karma in a positive way, we become happier.
Hmm.
Life becomes a bit easier because we're not swimming upstream against the tide. We're learning, oh, if I do it this way, life gets easier. So the more that we are self aware,
Hmm.
the more that we ask forgiveness of ourselves. Many times with a karmic situation, we feel like the victim.
Yeah.
Oh, my spouse cheated on me. Oh, my boss fired me unfairly and it was somebody else's fault. We feel like a victim.
Hmm.
And to some degree, that's true. Like we didn't do anything and now I have no job kind of thing.
Hmm.
But what's underneath that is probably that situation has some karmic ties to it.
Hmm.
Maybe in another lifetime, you fired somebody unfairly.
Okay.
And now you're experiencing this because you can experience, oh, that doesn't feel good at all. Like, I'm so not going to do that again. It's the old phrase about walk a mile in my moccasins
Yeah.
so that you can understand, not so you can be punished.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, like in a current life, that if someone has spending a lots of money in the medical things, right? Do you believe that they has any kind of a past lives karmas, or anything bad happened, that karma in the current life they had done something wrong, that's why they spent lots of money in the medical things?
When you're saying spent a lot of money, I'm assuming you mean that because something's wrong with them physically and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
um it can be both. It can be they made some mistakes. Maybe they had a lifetime where they didn't value their
Mm-hmm.
body or their health and they abused their body, pushing
Mm-hmm.
it too hard and not respecting it. And now they're coming in and they have to pay a lot of attention to their body.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's mistakes we made. Sometimes it's lessons we want to learn. Sometimes, think about this, the person who has to spend a lot of money on their body and their physical health. Maybe they're starting to do a lot of research on that issue. They find the right doctors, they find the best treatments. They become a healer. They get interested in healing because they'd have to spend so much time on their own body.
Mm-hmm.
So just because it can be a difficult situation doesn't mean it's a punishment situation. When we start to move into victimhood, oh, God hates me and has punished me with all these things, you're losing the opportunity to grow and to
Mm-hmm.
see it in a different way. So it sounds easy, but it's really difficult when you're in
Yeah, exactly.
pain or uncomfortable to not feel like that. So karma asks something of us, and it sometimes takes us a while to get there. It's not always lickety split and we're done.
So what about the like small kid has a come with the disability, right? But parents has to face that situations and they are spending lots of money in the medical things throughout the life. So it is about the karma of that own that the kid of their past lives, or that's a parent karma that
It's
happened for the
both.
kids. Okay.
It's both.
Hmm.
Remember where I said my friends with their child with cerebral palsy, they were learning about respecting people with disabilities,
Hmm.
and he was learning how to slow himself down to spend more time learning and growing instead of coasting through.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say it's both.
Hmm.
Karma spreads out in ripples. It
Yeah.
can affect many people.
Hmm.
If their son marries and has children, their children are going to have to deal with having a parent who may be a little bit different,
Hmm.
maybe in a wheelchair on crutches.
Hmm.
So, what are they trying to learn from that? So, karma is not a one and done.
Hmm.
It just affects you. Karma
Hmm.
affects the whole ripple effect of your extended friends and family.
Right. Rapid fire round. I give you the 10 questions.
Oh,
Okay.
it's like Jeopardy. I'm getting all,
Yeah, that's a
where's my buzzer?
one word option. Yeah. Okay. So 25 is overall energy, peaceful or chaotic?
25 is chaotic,
Love in 25, blooming or challenging?
challenging,
Okay. Best career move, stay or switch?
switch.
This year is
This
difficult.
year, it's a good time to start it. It's a good
Uh-huh.
time to look at it, and it's a good time to make the first moves. Next year, I see people moving more fully into that. Like, let's say you just started your podcast this year.
Hmm.
Next year, it may be doing very well, and it's your full time job.
Okay.
So, this year and next year.
Okay. Stock market direction, up or down?
In September, all over the place. In October, I do think there's going to be a drop. So
Drop.
I do think it's down in October. I think it rebounds some in November, up and down in November and December,
Okay.
but more down than up in October.
Okay. Political climate, stable or turbulent?
Crazy.
Natural disaster, mild or severe?
Severe.
Okay. Global economy, growing or struggling?
Some of both. In the
Okay.
United States, I would say struggling.
Hmm.
In some other countries, it's growing, but it is chaotic throughout the world because nobody knows what anything is going on.
Exactly.
So, both.
Technology impact, positive or negative?
Both. I definitely see new technologies being developed this year,
Hmm.
but I don't see them being unrolled to the public until next year.
Okay.
So, a bit of both.
Social movements, active or quiet?
Active, very active,
And the last one, year end feeling, hopeful or worried?
very hopeful, very hopeful. It's only September, and I'm very excited about 2026. I already can't wait to see what's going on in 2026. So, very hopeful.
Yes. So thank you so much for being in the show. It has been absolute fascinating. And thank you for sharing your insight about the 25th. Hopefully that everyone got their own answer about the 25th, the predictions and about the next year predictions also. Thank you for being in the Samir Show.
It's been my pleasure. If anybody wants to know what's going on with their sign in particular, you can go to my website, exploreastrology.com. And every month I put out totally free predictions for every sign.
Okay.
So I may say, Capricorn, for the month of October, this is what's going on with you. For Leo, this is what's going to happen. You don't have to join anything or pay anything. Just go to my site and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.